Sure I can do this today. I'm now okay. Ignited. See if I done got all my stuff together. I'm shaking my screen. And sometimes y'all get me to a place where I don't know what to do. I don't get it. I'm discombobulated. I'm confused. And I'm run amok. I don't get it. Y'all people, sometimes y'all drive me crazy. Sometimes you have to do the woo side. You say, woo side. You got to woo side, woo side. Everybody, first of all, let's bring it down and calm down a little bit. My goodness gracious. You would think, y'all vote for the police state, but a black man who thinks y'all both crazy says something positive about the police and y'all lose your damn minds. I don't get it. I don't get where y'all are coming from. Y'all make me, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm confused. So first of all, I kind of, I don't want to respond to stuff on the thread. Y'all get upset. Listen, if you live in a world where all police are bad, how is that different than living in a world where all black people are criminals? How is that different than living in a world where all white folks are racist? How is that any different than all Asian people love technology? How is that any different from all black people love chicken? How is that any damn different than any stupid, ignorant stereotype? I know, I'm not supposed to start a video that way. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let y'all take me to those levels. Y'all live in ignorant land, not me. I sit in the back and I think y'all nuts. I say something positive about, police did something solid. First of all, let me explain something to you. If you do something good for my kids, I got your back. I got your back. And he was a young cop. He was a young guy. And y'all can say that's his job. He's supposed to show up. He's supposed to do all this stuff. And, so that was a follow-on from this morning and some of the comments I got. I'm just like, what world do y'all live in? Really? Like, because they got a badge, they're a bad guy. They don't live next door to you. Their kids don't go to soccer with your kids. We got to kill the stereotypes. Like, all Archbishop Catholic priests don't rape little boys. Stop it. All good-looking women teachers don't sleep with the little boys. And all police don't. I'm not even supposed to talk about that. How y'all doing today? Is everybody doing okay? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't like to start on that note. Sometimes I see a post. If you want to put some ignorance out there, don't put it on my thread. Don't do that. I love facts. I love facts to death. And I don't vote for anybody who's rolling out all of this ignorance. The last thing I'm going to say from the commentary from this morning, if you vote for the police state, don't blame the police. They don't author their jobs. They don't write what their jobs are. Your ignorant politicians do. The ones you got bumper stickers on your car, flags on your yard, and buttons on your refrigerator. They wrote the laws. If you want to be upset with someone, it's like this ignorant thing, like it blows my mind. You know why a dog hates mailman? Because they show up with the newspaper and the dog gets beat by the newspaper. And the dumb dog blames the newspaper. Don't blame the messenger. If you vote for two parties who already said we gonna do the police state, and if y'all love it, vote for us. We gonna just roll it out and just make all of y'all criminals. And if you don't want that, don't vote for those parties. But if you want that and you're good with sending armed men into neighborhoods and kids getting killed and being pulled over for ridiculous traffic stops that we know software and cameras can handle all of it, why in the hell do they pull people over with guns? Is it maybe because your Democrat and Republican politicians get paid for by the military-industrial complex, the biggest funders of government out, we can go into the prison complex. We can go all this. So here's my 2 cents. And be nice. I'm just going to say this. If you vote for slavers, don't blame slavery. That's my 2 cents. If you vote for slavers, then don't be upset when some slave-like conditions comes over your country. But it's accountability, and nobody wants to be accountable. So I'm gonna stop with that. I was gonna talk about DACA, and yes, Sister Kathy, the badge does not make police bad. Their actions do, and their actions in neighborhoods written by laws to go in to take away a free people's rights. If the politicians don't want you to be free, and the people want to be free, and the people got guns, and the police got guns, what the hell do you think is going to happen? Bad stuff. Bad stuff. We know this. So, all right, let me back up. I sometimes I don't know how people's brains function, and they just want to hate the police and pat themselves on the back for the ignorant people. I had to come to my cross-eye. I'm gonna do my cross-eye. All right, so let me stop. Let me go back. Where are my notes at? Y'all got me so flipping out with this nonsense. I want to talk about this dude back here, man. I want to talk about this DACA nonsense, and this is some more of this nonsense. You know, you get the Democrats in there, and they deport more Latin Americans than anybody on the face of the planet. And then you get this Arpaio and his nonsense, and then everybody wants to blame the new president. And I'm just, man, y'all are crazy. So anyway, so what had happened is Sessions rescinded, or not Sessions, the current administration rescinded DACA, which was the memo to basically leave the kids alone. And they actually cited some reasons, like again, there's no ignorant, well, that's not true. There's no voters in this country that aren't intelligent, right? So there are intelligent reasons why to have DACA, and there were intelligent reasons why they're trying to get rid of it. And, you know, so think about it from both sides. And that's what I like to do. I like to think about things from both sides. So one of the things he talked about was that it's the influx of people at the borders with children, right? So if you say, first of all, let's be clear. Kids are innocent in all of this. All of it. From both ignorant extreme sides. The kids always have to be protected every time, all the time. I get their point that when you make it okay for them to come across the border because they bring kids with them, obviously more people who probably don't even have kids are going to grab some kids and come across the border. I get that. So they're saying there's an influx of people at the border with children, which are placing children in harm's way, once again, around the Democrats and Republicans, men with guns. So I understand that. And I'm just saying that there's reasons on both sides if you actually listen to both sides. So, but I like to go back in history. I like to spend a little time in truth land, because I don't like BS land. I don't like propaganda land. I like to spend a little time in truth land. And the reality is simple this. If the Democrats and the Republicans did not start their war on drugs, nobody would be trying to come here. There's an interesting, weird side effect to destroying a country. If you destroy Mexico with your war on drugs, and you don't expect the people to come across the border to get away from your violence, very well-funded violence, then you're crazy. So I'm not so sure I want to talk about the whole, well, no, I guess we got to talk about it. So the first of all, the beginnings of this, if you do root cause analysis, there are no innocent Democrats nor Republicans. They don't love anybody in South America one bit. They love minerals, and they love violence and war and money. That's what they love. So there is no savior in anybody. We're just in a situation where it's jacked up. And why is it jacked up? It's because they don't have a country, because we destroyed their country. So that's step one. Right? So there's no one side or the other to blame. So what do we do now that we're here? Well, you obviously can't blame the kids, and you can't make it incentive for more people to come across the border with kids. But you also can't tell people who've been here for what was it, like 80,000 years, migrating across the country, that this is not their land, right? So there's so many bits and pieces to all of this, which is why I don't know why people get so extreme. And furthermore, okay, so and the other thing he mentioned, he talked about the jobs. Well, they come and they're taking our jobs, and we know what that is. And this is that old same tired narrative that, oh, people are taking our jobs. And stop it, stop it. That the reason there are no jobs is because the Democrats and the Republicans outlawed business. They outlawed survival. They put everybody in survival mode. So few corporations can make all this money through all the regulation and legislation that funnels up. So that's why there are no jobs. So where does that leave us? Well, I have no idea where it leaves us, but that's the deal. So they're rescinding it. Apparently, Congress can act and write laws to make it legal for kids to stay here, right? And that actually, let's step back just a little bit. So when the new administration won, I do remember him coming out and saying he wanted to talk to everybody. And I know that when I'm speaking, I'm not talking to specific people. I can only talk about. And the first thing a lot of my Clinton friends came up with, oh, we're not going to call him Trump. We're going to call him 45, right? And okay, just start throwing the disrespect out so you can be more ignorant than the ignorant people who talked about Obama. And he called for people to go to Trump Towers and talk to him. He said he wanted to be everybody's president. I remember that very carefully. And this is no defense of Trump, so don't think I'm defending Trump one bit. But he did that. And the first thing I saw was everybody posting about, I think it was Steve Harvey that went there, and the other dude. I don't follow y'all's entertainers. Starts with a K. Some other dude went there, dark-skinned brother went there to hang out and talk to Trump. The first thing I saw was sell out, sell out, sell out, sell out. All these sellout commentaries about how Steve Harvey and this other dude is a sellout. And of course, it came from Democrats who put more black people in prison than any other party or any other group of anybody with white sheets or guns ever in the history of the planet, calling these guys sellouts. But again, I'm just, I laugh at this stuff all day because you can't make this ridiculousness up. So, but he asked everybody to come. And so I would have hoped that someone went there and would have said, look, rescinding DACA is a bad idea. We have a lot of kids that are here, that are in college, they're doing well, we're taking care of them. They didn't ask to be here, but they are here. They're Americans, we need to take care of them. A dialogue could possibly have started, right? But that didn't happen. Not that I'm aware of. We just went straight to ignorant land. We just, we wanted to be as ignorant as they were when Obama was a president. And so nobody talked that I know of. And to be clear, I don't think they should be rescinding DACA. I think it's a mistake. I think that we are in a mess, and I think that this is going to make it worse. However, this is where we are. And this is why it's important not to act ignorant. This is why it's important to level up and to be wise with your words and with your actions in terms of disrespecting a narcissistic egomaniac president. You know that won't end well, no matter what you do. We all know egomaniac friends, and that'll never end well. So with all the disrespect and all the racism and all this stuff flying and everybody hate him, his name is 45 and whatever, why is anybody surprised that they are not waiting for Congress to make some sort of a law to protect these kids before rescinding it? Nobody should be surprised at this. There's a price for everything, right? There's a price for voting for an ignorant party. There's a price for that ignorant party legislating against the others. There's a price for trying to run bad people for president. There's a price for acting ignorant and continuing to escalate more and more of this ignorance to a point where kids get hurt. And that's where we are, people. We are in a place, let me get this session. Ooh, he behind me, man. I get a little hot. It get a little nervous. I remember some of the things that cat said. So let me scoot over here and jump behind this scene. Let me make this my scene. Apparently, I got to make a quick change in my little setup here. I'm getting warnings. I'm running on battery power. And y'all gonna have to excuse me for just a moment. I'll be right back with you. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Whew. I'm back. Where are we at? We're in Democrat Republican land. Look at all the Democrat Republican legislative nonsense. So, if you vote for the police state, don't be surprised if you're gonna get the police state. If you're lining up the next Democrat or Republican, I don't want to hear you talking about this. Like, you don't have any right in whatever they do. I actually hold you more accountable than I hold them. Why? Because these dudes are just doing a job. You're the one who's setting the pace for the country in terms of laws and who you put in place. And your parties have made it clear they have no interest in your freedom. They have no interest in stopping any of this. They're going to keep marching ahead. These cats are doing a job. So that's kind of my position on that. And that's not changing, right? If you vote for slave catchers, slave catching people who love them some slavery, then I think you got to be a little honest with yourself that bad things are going to happen. So I just sit here in this world and I kind of let these things go down. So, but that was kind of the point. And well, the other thing Sessions said, he said, we are people of compassion and laws. And of course, I get a little laugh on that. We are people of compassion. Okay, so stop. So first of all, we are not about compassion. Y'all are just about profit and making big dollars, blowing up the world, stealing minerals, making money. So stop that nonsense. And I guess the other thing Sessions said, he wanted to end lawlessness. He doesn't want to end lawlessness. No. His whole job is based on y'all acting foolish and lawlessness. So he loves lawlessness, which is because, again, he's Democrat Republican, which, I don't think y'all are different parties. You're in the same party because you won all of this. So, but that was my assessment, is that we could have stopped it. We could, if we didn't go to ignorant land, and we went to the president and we said, look, we didn't vote for you. And by we, I'm not in this, again, because I don't vote for people. If I won't let you watch my kids, my babies, and I can go to the store, hell no, I ain't voting for you as a president. So my presidents never win. That's not the point. The point is simply this, is that you have to take on your own accountability. It is so easy to blame police. It is so easy to blame Arpaio and all the things that your party tells you to blame. The reality is, a lot of us need to be blaming ourselves. And by us, I mean you, not me. I voted for people who don't want this. I voted for people who were going to take care of immigrants and try to take down a lot of the legal structure and the law and the legislation that don't allow people to live free. Because I think that's the basis of every problem we have. If Tiger, what is his name? I forgot his name. Cat Williams, I called him Tiger. Cat Williams has a great video, and I forgot the name of it. He did it in one of his skits, and for my religious brothers and sisters, he is a little raunchy if you ever watch Cat Williams, but go online and do a quick search for Cat Williams Tiger. Just do and just don't make sure the kids not around. You don't want the kids to hear this language, but do a search for Cat Williams Tiger and just watch his skit when he talks about, and I guess I'm going to kind of ruin it to a degree. But the whole point is, if you take a free animal and you cage it, it's going to wait for an opportunity to express its freedom, right? And in America, we live in cages. Now, they're nice cages. They got air conditioning, but make no mistake, they're cages. And the best way to get the worst behavior out of a human being is to put them in a cage. And if you question that, go spend a few nights in prison. Going down to Rikers Island, going down to the maximum security, going down to where was the brother? The brother from New York. The kid that they said he stole a backpack and the two-party system dragged him off the streets because he stole a backpack at 16, and they put him in Rikers Island in the gang unit so the gangs could beat the hell out of him so he would cop a plea because the Democrats and the Republicans get kickbacks on all of this nonsense in the state of New York. So Khalif Browder, that was his name. Great documentary on him. So go back and look at something like that. I'm with you, Sister Gabriella. I voted for Joe Stein. I'm sorry. I don't think that any of this ends in a good place. But if you look at that brother, they put him, and he already had some challenges in life. They put him in a gang unit, and they made a monster out of him, right? Because that's what happens when you take a free thing and you cage it. You make a monster. And so in America, we're making monsters. Y'all are just clapping and cheering for law after law after law after law after law, taking freedom after freedom after freedom after freedom. And of course, the people with money, they're going to be voting, pushing more for this. Why? Because they got to protect their money from y'all going crazy. And so instead of using some common sense and saying, you know what, maybe we need to start bringing freedom back. Maybe caging free creatures is a bad thing. So that's my take on it. I think I posted 3 videos a day, and I apologize for that, but sometimes you can't let this ignorance ride, and I'm not letting it ride. If you're voting for the police state, let me be clear. Let me be absolutely positively clear. If you vote for the police state and you blame police, you are a Class A hypocrite. You are just as complicit in all of this nonsense, because all they're doing are taking our rights because it's worth money on Wall Street, because a corporation somewhere, starting with the big railroads, makes money off of taking citizens' rights. If that's you, if you look in the mirror and you see this dude smiling like this, police state, I voted, the little button you get says I voted. If you voted for a Democrat or a Republican, it should say I voted for the police state. I'm a police state and I hate the police. That's what y'all should say. I voted for the police state. And I don't care what the police say that we shouldn't be going towards the police state. I'm going to vote for the police state, but I'm going to be mad at the police. I know I don't like to. And I'm not angry. I'm sorry. I get a little excited. We head this way in our country. And I just think that we can't let it ride. I think you got to start calling people out. And honestly, I'm not even saying vote for the Green Party, because I got my reservations. I got my reservations about all of it. And I'm just, if you vote for people who say we're going to lock your kids up, we're going to take your ranches, and if you don't like it, we're going to shoot them and put them in prison. And they're going to kill brothers like Lavoy Tunnacum. They're going to kill brothers like Chris out there in New York. They're going to take them out. And Tammy, hey Tammy, how you doing, sister? Trump was an outsider. Was Trump an outsider? I think he was, but I think more of the important question is, what was he an outsider of? He obviously wasn't in the Democrat-Republican circles, but he was an outsider to the billionaires that have been running Washington for 40 years, right? Like, I don't think Democrats and Republicans exist. I don't think America and all these different countries exist. I think you just have different groups of people who control groups of people, whether they're countries or corporations or areas where they have mineral rights. And I think he was an outsider to that. And that was my speculation early on, that Trump would get in and he would rip down their corrupt establishment, which would piss off a whole bunch of billionaires. So you'll see all of this hoorah, but then he's going to start rebuilding his own corrupt billionaire administration. And I think that's probably what we're on the cusp on. So, Sister Tammy, I do agree that he was an outsider, but it's a question of what was he outside of. I think he was outside of the current corruption. Don't get me wrong. I wish I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I pray that my Trump voting friends come back and say, you know what? We proved you wrong. I hope you're wrong. And I hope there actually is a billionaire that's out there to save the people. I've never seen that. And that'll be something if it happens, because I've just never seen a billionaire come to save poor people. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about right now. I won't want to belabor the point. Let me see what y'all said. Commentary probably talking about me, call me all kind of names and stuff. Sister Gabriella said it should also say they voted for more war. Yeah, and that's right along with the same thing. It's just like, I'm anti-war. I'm anti-war. I'm an anti-war Democrat. I'm an anti-war Republican. I'm an anti-war police state. I don't, and it's just, and I just sit back and I'm just like, what is the fish's name? There's a fish in that movie. What's the name of that movie where the fish keeps losing his mind? And it don't make no sense. Finding Needed Dory. Hold on, let me see if I can. I should find Dory. I might have to do a Dory video. But y'all remind me of Dory, and it's just like you forget who you are, and it's just like, la 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 la. I don't like the police state. I don't like them killing people. And who is the police state? What's the police? And it's So I'm gonna stop. I get to a point where I do my high voice. I know it's time to stop. So I appreciate y'all watching. I don't even know my position in this. I try to sit in the middle. I try to look at both sides, and I try to call people out, because I think that's what we're supposed to do. I think the voice of adults has to start to come out. I think the voice of reason has to start to come out. And you're not going to make any friends doing it, right? Because they look at you, they stereotype you, and they classify that because you are this, you're supposed to be that. I have no interest in that. My only interest is the children and the future of this country, and the children all over the world. And it's very clear who's killing children all over the world. And it's very clear who's killing children all over America. And it's very clear that they want to pretend that there's some sort of a moral elite, and they're not. So that's all I have to say. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate your time. And if you really, really, really don't want the police state, and you don't want them treating our brothers and sisters from South America like the way they are, stop voting for the people who are doing it. That's my little secret from me to you. Stop.